Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, October 6th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Went to Landmark Theaters at Harbor Center last night to see Billy Joel in concert. Well, it wasn't really Billy Joel. It was footage of his Yankee Stadium show back from 1990, all stitched together and digitally mastered, and I'll tell you, it was fantastic. I am loving what that little theater is doing right now. But enough of that. Let's get into today's news, shall we? We learned late last night of a shooting at the Harbor House community in the Eastport section of Annapolis. At least 5 shots were fired near the intersection of President and Madison Streets in close proximity to several homes. We don't know if anyone was injured or if there was any property damage, but we do expect to learn a little bit more from the Annapolis Police Department this morning. So you want to make sure that you check out eyeonannapolis.net a little bit later today. The Maryland Attorney General released the footage of the body-worn video cameras of the officers that were involved in the fatal shooting of a Harwood man back on September 17th. Anthony Hopkins was involved in a domestic dispute, and when the police arrived, he had gone into the woods armed. He emerged with a gun, and despite warnings to drop it, he did not and appeared to point it at police when 5 officers opened fire on him for about 10 seconds. After he collapsed, officers did render CPR, but unfortunately he was pronounced dead at the scene by EMS. Now, all 5 officers are on paid leave while this is being investigated. The full report from the Attorney General will be sent to the County State's Attorney's Office for a decision on any prosecution of the officers. Now, the full video is up at eyeonannapolis.net, and I will warn you, it is very graphic. Maryland Matters had a fascinating article yesterday about our county executive race. Based on a Democratic poll, Republican Jessica Hare is ahead of Democrat Stuart Pittman by 4 percentage points. On the surface, that looks good for Hare, but as the poll dug a little bit deeper, they found that most voters didn't know too much about her and likely could be swayed. Similarly, because Pittman was elected in the anti-Trump election, the poll says that many Democrats don't know enough about Pittman and they can be swayed. This is a tight race, and there is a debate on the 12th at Maryland Hall. Both candidates are fighting dirty and trying to paint the other as a developer's puppet. The mailers and ads are getting very ugly, and they're going to get uglier in the next month as we go into Election Day. My advice, before you cast your vote, make sure that you research the two and make an informed vote. Local elections do matter, and it's at the county level where we are most impacted by those elections. Well, it looks like the former WNAV property might become workforce housing. Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development announced that they had awarded a Frederick developer $3.7 million in tax credits to build the project. The project would be for those making 60 to 120% of the median income in the area, which equates to about $49,000 to $98,000 for a single person, which does leave out anyone making less than $23 per hour. Of course, it needs to go through the Annapolis City approvals, and we all know how that goes. And as to WNAV itself, Pat Sajak sold it to a former NAV employee and current WTOP personality, Chris Roth, for $1,000 and also gave him $100,000 to relocate the equipment. Roth, in turn, flipped the station to Steve Clendenin for an undisclosed sum. Clendenin has rebranded the station as Capital Gold Oldies, and it's being run for the most part as a simulcast of stations that he has in South Central Pennsylvania and Havre de Grace. Boy, here I am in media when all along I should have gone into airport construction. BWI is about to undertake the largest project in its history. The $452 million project is set to get the green light from the Board of Public Works next week. It will include renovation and expansion of the connector between gates A and B, new food and retail concessions, new bathrooms, a new baggage handling system, and larger gate areas to accommodate larger planes. The project is scheduled for completion during the summer of 2026. Well, the boat shows are here. The Power Boat Show opens up today and runs through Sunday. Tickets at AnnapolisBoatShows.com, and they are $22 in advance and $25 at the gate, so save yourself $3 by them in advance. With that said, Visit Annapolis in Anne Arundel County is again running a free shuttle from BWI airports to the show. So if you're coming into town and staying up at BWI, take that shuttle and save the cost and hassle of parking here. I say hassle only because we have the Hillman Garage, which is offline for now. The shuttle runs daily during the shows from 8:45 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. Pretty cool. And that's all I got news-wise. Podcast stuff up this weekend on the local business spotlight. It is none other than Comicel Brown, muralist, clothing designer, graphic artist, and new owner of Art Things, which will now be called Art House. And that's a wrap for us. As always, thank you for being you, and thank you to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long & Foster Company, and Scout and Molly's. It is Thursday, so we have Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace here with your Maker Minutes, and George from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast weather. Finally a nice one. And all of that's coming up in just a bit, so hang tight.
Another moving moment from Christy Neidhart.
One of the biggest questions I'm getting asked right now, what is going on with the housing market? Well, when the interest rates jumped up 2 percentage points, mortgage payments went up 20% for the same home. This is starting to have an effect on the number of buyers we are seeing, with 10% fewer home sales than last spring. However, our inventory is 25% lower than the same time last year. What does all this mean? There are more home buyers than homes on the market, so prices are still increasing. Now more than ever, it's time to work with someone who can guide you with solid, proven advice. Wisdom, proactiveness, and intense marketing make a huge difference. Please give us a call today and let us help you navigate these waters. We promise to educate and guide you with your best interest at heart.
That's another moving moment with Christy Neidhart of Northrop Realty, a Long & Foster Company. To get in touch, call 410-599-1370 or visit kn-team.com.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Thursday, October 6th. Yesterday wasn't a great weather day by any stretch, but it was definitely a step in the right direction for better weather for the Annapolis region over the next 5 to 7 days, and the reward will be tons of sunshine each day, following nearly a week of continuous clouds and showers. Look for sunny skies today and tomorrow with highs each day in the low to mid 70s across all of Anne Arundel County, to be followed by more sunshine all weekend, though temps will be cooler following a cold front that moves through late Friday with highs around 60 to maybe 65 degrees each day, with AM lows Saturday and Sunday morning around 40 to 45 degrees for most. As for next week, the expectation is for more sunshine through at least Wednesday, with PM highs each day Monday through Wednesday in the mid 60s to lower 70s. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely be sure to download our DCMDVA Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google app stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Ready for a new look for those end of summer parties? Come see us at Scout and Molly's. I'm Betsy Abraham. My mom and I own and operate this great little boutique at the Annapolis Town Center. After spending the last 2 years shopping online, come enjoy a fun, in-person shopping experience with a bonus, real customer service. We'd love to help you pick out the perfect outfit for back-to-school Annapolis boat shows and nights out with your friends. Scout and Molly's, Annapolis Town Center. Thanks for shopping local.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Maker Minutes, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. Fall festival season is here, with lots of fun family activities all around the county. Check out Why Worry Farm in Davidsonville, Nightingale Farm in Harwood, and of course Green Street Gardens in Lothian and Homestead Gardens in Davidsonville for lots of fun fall festival activities. Saturday, the National Cryptologic Museum is having their grand reopening. After a long hiatus, they're happy to finally be reopening with an entirely new layout and exhibits, including an escape room and a visit from the NSA military dog team. as well as food trucks. Also on Saturday, up in Brooklyn Park, check out the 8th Annual Arts in the Park Free Festival at the Chesapeake Arts Center, with live performances, art, local community vendors, multiple hands-on arts workshops, and all kinds of things for the family to do. Finally on Saturday, at the South River Farm Park in Edgewater, check out Fairies in the Woods. Kids can learn how fairies use elements in nature to build their homes and scavenge supplies to build your own little fairy homes. Registration is required for this. Then on Sunday, at Historic Hancock's Resolution in Pasadena, be sure to check out their Fall Harvest Festival with fall crafts, foods, and demonstrations. At Knits and Pieces off of Bestgate Road, on Saturday, their pint-sized sweater knitting class starts, making a seamless baby hooded pullover. On Monday, their advanced sweater with great gingham continues. And on Tuesday, their beginner cable hat class continues. Their Learn to Knit October sessions are starting soon, so registration is open for those, and there's a few more classes coming up in November and December. At Art Farm in Annapolis, Saturday they have their wood burning workshop for adults, Sunday they have their Vibe Flow and Chill Yoga, followed by their mandala workshop for adults, and then in the early afternoon, they have their beginner block printing class, making custom wrapping paper for ages 14 and up, and their kids' fall semester continues with, today, exploring process and pattern for ages 10 through 15, Saturday, there's experimenting with layered painting for ages 9 through 12. Monday, there's the Kids Art School for ages 6 through 8, as well as the embroidery for ages 10 through 14. Tuesday, there's Intro to Short Story Writing for ages 12 through 16. Then on Wednesday, there's Fundamentals of Drawing for ages 8 through 11, as well as Artist Wanted Intro to Graphic Design for ages 12 through 16. At the Anne Arundel County Public Library System this week, today, Bush Annapolis has a Crafternoon. Tomorrow, Discoveries has a pre-K art party. Saturday, Crofton has Ask Our Master Gardener, and Bush Annapolis has Flicks and Sticks, knitting and other needleworking, crafting along with a movie. Monday, Deal has their Nature Explorers Club. Odenton is doing monthly mixed media with a collage night. Tuesday, the Eastport Annapolis Neck Library has Make It. They supply the materials and you bring your creativity. Bush Annapolis has the Teeny Tiny Terrarium program, creating a tiny terrarium for teens. And Maryland City has Do-It-Yourself Doll Head Planters. Create a creepy doll head planter for spooky season. And all kinds of stuff happening on Wednesday. Bush Annapolis Library has Makerspace open hours, the Nature Explorers Club, as well as Everyone Eats Cookbook Club. Broadneck has a paint night with an autumn theme. Deal has SoCo Crafty Adventures, doing fiber arts, drawing, a little bit of everything. Edgewater has Skeins and Stitches. Eastport Annapolis Neck has Winecork Wednesdays, doing a pumpkin theme. Crofton has Owlsome Owls of Maryland, and Odenton has Knits and Knots. At Unallocated Space in Severn, tonight they have a virtual happy hour. Tomorrow there's a virtual and in-person DC 443 Hack the Box working group, honing cybersecurity skills. Monday is their project night. Tuesday their electronics fundamentals continues. And Wednesday is their open house. Over at Pongo's Learning Lab and Coder Kids Club in Crofton, they have a bunch of different clubs for kids for the fall. But also check out tomorrow, they have gaming guidance for grown-ups. Learn about your kids' favorite game so you have some idea what they're talking about. This session focuses on Roblox. And at the Patuxent Lapidary Guild this week, Sunday they have a basic cabochon cutting class. Learn the basics of cutting and shaping gemstones from slabs of stone. If you have any questions about the Annapolis Makerspace, the Maker Minutes, or any of these events, feel free to contact me at trevor@makeannapolis.org. And you can find links to all of these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website, also at makeannapolis.org. Whether you're making art, software, sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.